Hi everybody. As I promised in my earlier post, I'm intending to do a video review of the new He-Man and the Masters of the Universe film. Now, I don't know how many of you have actually, watched the original cartoons or indeed the 1987 version, which starred Dolph Lundgren, Kieran Hines, Meg Foster, as well as any other number of actors. Now, I remember watching the cartoons when I was just a kid. You know, all throughout the 80s, well into the early 90s. But this new film, I'm there going, okay, this is going to be interesting. Because I wanted to see what they could do with it. Now, initially, before launch, it received a lot of, backlash because the young man that they picked to play Adam, he's not your. Apparently, he wasn't buff enough or big enough. But people have got to remember that Adam and He-Man are two separate personas in the thing. You got young Prince Adam, who's, quite almost shy, very awkward, socially and otherwise. Now, of course, in the film, he gets transported to Earth, strange place to be coming to, where, as a young child, he grows up in modern day New York City, or Oklahoma, or wherever the hell it was. So he grows up being this almost nerdish type person. He's very much into looking at swords because he's trying to relocate the Sword of Power. Bit of an odd thing to be looking for on the internet, I must admit. Now, ironically, I noticed the use of pronouns in the film, which I thought, okay, yeah, they're either trying to take a swipe at this woke thing, or they're trying to take a swipe at the, political correctness thing here. Thought, no, okay, fair play, I'll let that slide. Now, he ends up getting into an altercation on the highway after being arrested by the police for taking the Sword of Power. Yeah. I'm very surprised that he was actually physically able to lift said weapon. In all respects. A sword like that, you'd have to be pretty, big and strong to actually physically carry it, let alone wield it. So he gets into an altercation with Beastman on a highway after being arrested. And you end up seeing Teela as a fully grown adult young lady coming to his aid. Where she uses any number of dirty fighting techniques against Beastman, which I thought, yeah, fair play. She knows what she's doing. But things don't really happen all that much until they reach Eternia. That's when it truly begins to happen. There's this one sequence where he's introduced to the Resistance, which comprise of the old members of the Royal Guard. I must say, calling somebody Fisto just because they have a cybernetic hand, generally won't win you any favours, will it? What's even worse was the fact that, despite being silently advised by Teela not to pursue this particular subject, he still pursues it. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness me, he's going to end up with his face pummeled in. Now, the reason he said you're called Fisto is because you fist people. I can imagine many of you who went to see this film, either by yourselves or you took your kids with you, whereupon a lot of you would have been giggling like little loons. Because only you could understand the kind of humour that was involved. Your little child, your nipper, must have been sat there going, why are you laughing so much, Daddy? Or Mummy, why are you laughing so much? Back during the 80s, we didn't have this political correct nonsense. We didn't have any of that. You could practically get away with everything in the 1980s. So that's a little heads up for people who, I mean, I actually feel genuinely sorry for the adults that took their children to see this film, because when that kid gets home, he's going to be going around to Mummy and saying, Mummy, what does fisting mean? Yeah. I wouldn't want to be you. I really wouldn't. Now, the film progresses, as it normally would, where Adam changes into He-Man for the very first time. The kind of humour in this is just ridiculous. It's really funny. You had Idris Elba playing Man-at-Arms, or Duncan. Well, yep, really good choice of actor there. Brilliant, Roboto, the female voiced robot, that's supposed to be a serving maid or a cleaner maid or something, was actually probably one of the most toughest in the entire film. This damn thing walked through a cell door quite happily, and then proceeds to throw various verbal insults at Man-at-Arms, Duncan, who spends the majority of the film completely off his kite, being very drunk. I thought, yeah, this is a man who's probably seen too much. Okay? He's seen too much. He knows he's failed. And obviously he turns to drink as a form of solace. Jared Leto as Skeletor. Oh, boy. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant acting there. Got all of Skeletor's insults right down to a T. Especially when he calls his group of minions a pail of pissants. Not entirely sure that was allowed. It's no wonder this film came with an age rating. But you've got to understand that in some films nowadays, you can get away with certain things, certain language, and I thought, okay, fair enough. Yeah, they got away with it. But if you haven't seen this film yet, it's currently running on Amazon Prime. Probably due to the product placement more than anything. They did place an Amazon delivery van, that proceeded to run over Beastman. I thought, yep, that's a rather intelligent use of product placement. Use an Amazon delivery van to literally run down a 6 to 7 foot creature Oh yeah, really clever. So, if you haven't seen this film yet, go ahead, watch it. You'll give yourselves a giggle. Those that are actually old enough to remember the originals, the original cartoons, the original 1987 film, you'll find things have changed a lot. Until I see you again, have a good one and take care.